Alright, converse Pythagorean theorem. All the word converse means, by the way, is to work backwards. Alright, so converse Pythagorean theorem means work backwards. In other words, if I tell you a triangle has the sides 8, 15, and 20, can you tell me if it's a right triangle? In other words, can we work backwards? Alright, so we know the formula is a squared plus b squared equals, and so it has to equal c squared. We know that. That is the formula for showing me that it's a right triangle. Equals, okay? So when it says, can I work backwards? In other words, can I prove that it's a right angled triangle? It's going to be the exact same thing. Label A, B, and C. And remember, C is always your longest side opposite the 90. So which number is C? 8, 15, or 20? Okay, 20 is C. Why? Because it's the longest side. A and B doesn't matter. So label any of them, A and B. Then go ahead and substitute your numbers for letters just like before. So A is 8, so 8 squared. Plus b squared is 15 squared. And then if it's equal, it's going to be c squared, which is 20 squared. If it's equal, it's a right angle. If it's not equal, if it's less than, remember like before in our notes, if it's equal, it's a right angle. If it's obtuse, it's less than. If it's acute, it's greater than. All right, so just to prove if it's a right triangle, we need to check if it's equal. So if I square this and add it to this squared, is it equal to 20 squared? So you just take your calculator and do that. 8 squared plus 8 squared, is 64, plus 15 squared is 225. And is that equal to 20 squared, which is 400? All right, so are they equal? So that's what I'm checking. Are they equal? All the way down here, are they equal? All right, so is 64 plus 225 is 289. Is 289 equal to 400? No. It is not equal to 400. So is it a right triangle? No, it's not. Because a squared plus b squared is not c squared. All right. Go ahead and do the same thing with number 7. And I'm just going to pause and just tell you what the answer is. All right, and there's the answer for number 7, including the work. I've shown that after I plug them in, that a squared plus b squared is c squared, so therefore that means that that is a right triangle. All right, questions 8 through 10, Pythagorean Theorem inequality. Again, just goes over what I just mentioned. If it's a right triangle, it's equal. If it's obtuse, it's less than. If it's acute, it's greater than. And again, think opposite of what it usually is. Obtuse is always bigger than 90. But when you're talking about Pythagorean inequality theorem, if when you add a squared plus b squared, it's less than, it's obtuse. If it's greater than, it's acute. If it's equal, it's right. So again, the biggest thing is writing down your formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, label. C is always the longest side, so the longest side is 10. So that's going to be C, that's going to be B, that's going to be A. A squared is 7 squared plus 10 squared is equal to c squared, which is 10 squared. All right, so 7 squared is 49 plus 10 squared is 100 equals 10 squared is 100. 100 plus 49 is 149. All right, and 149 and 100, is it equal to, less than, or bigger than? All right, it is greater than. And remember, you're going to think opposite. So greater than usually means obtuse. But if you look at our notes, greater than actually means acute. So you're going to think the opposite of what you know. So is it acute, right, or obtuse? It is acute. All right, you're going to do the same things for questions 9 and 10. Again, write your formula down. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Label A, B, and C. C, make sure is the longest side. All right, in Excel, it looks like C is always last, but don't trust that. So just make sure C is always the longest side. 5 squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared. 5 squared is 25 plus 36 equals 100. 25 plus 36 is 61 equals 100. 61, is it equal to, greater than, or less than 100? It is less than. All right, think opposite. If I thought less than, I would think acute, but think opposite, so your answer is obtuse. Okay, so if it's less than, it is obtuse. All right, number 10. Same thing, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A, B, C. C is always the longest side. 5 squared plus 5 squared equals 7 squared. 5 squared plus 5 squared, 25 plus 25 equals 7 squared, which is 49. 25 plus 25 is 50, equals 49. All right, then look at those two numbers. Is it equal to, greater than, or less than? 50 is greater than 49. So think opposite. Greater than, I would think of 2, so think opposite is a cube. Okay, so your answer for 10 is A.